Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's episode review. In this video, we will be going over episode 84 of 7's, and I'll quickly talk about 82 and 83 as well. It's been a few weeks since I've actually covered anything Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's related because of everything going on with the channel, but I'm very excited to be back. 7's Up, our podcast, returns tonight as well for episode 84, so very excited to be back as Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's winds down. It's all but confirmed that 7's is going to be a 92 episode anime, and with this being episode 84, that leaves only 8 episodes left to wrap up everything that is going on in the show. I'm a little nervous about that, but we'll get into that maybe a little later on. What are my thoughts on 84? What are my thoughts on the final season here as we are starting to be in full swing of the final season? I've definitely been enjoying the last few episodes. The Ranze Renosuke stuff was obviously cringe, but it was funny cringe, and it was relevant to obviously Gaku-Ting. I'm not going to talk too much about that episode, but the aspect that I've liked about this season so far, or this arc I should say, is that we are quickly getting through all of the memory wipes. I was worried we were going to do one episode for Asana, one episode for Nail, one for Gakuto, one for Roa, so on and so forth, and then by the time everyone has their memories back, it's episode 89, and there's just no time left for anything else. I'm happy that is not the route this show went. They got Asana's memories back through her team, Nail's memories back through Sebastian, and Gakuto's memories back through Ranze and Renosuke, which I thought was really cool, all in the span of 2 episodes. So I liked how they did that. As for this episode, I thought this episode was really interesting. There were a lot of very interesting things that were revealed in this episode, and the one that I want to start with is actually with Gohei Yuga and Nanaho and her team, where they've basically confirmed that the server is being overloaded due to all the new rules that have been made, and without Otis manning the moon, without Otis overseeing the server, it's going to fail. Like, it's just a matter of time at this point. And this is the first time where we see Gohei Yuga not want chaos, which I thought was very out of character for him, right? Since we've known Gohei Yuga, he's wanted chaos, he's wanted destruction, he's wanted despair, and now the second Nanaho talks about the duels being overloaded and the duel system going to fail, he starts to show remorse and regret and even responsibility by saying that we can't let that happen. And then we realize that he's starting to become influenced by the effect that Luke had when he was Swirly, because we get him having a flashback that everyone's been having recently, right? All the Lost Memory characters have been dealing with these weird flashbacks. It even happened to Yuo this episode. And so we get the flashback of Luke saying, let's go Swirly, come on Swirly, and Gohei Yuga realizes that he's starting to be influenced, I think, by his time as Swirly. And so I thought that was interesting. It's really the first time, at least that I've noticed, where Gohei Yuga showed some form of responsibility and, I guess, just goodness in his heart for wanting to save dueling. So that was interesting, and I'm sure that will probably start to sprout and be the reason that he gets redeemed ultimately by the end of the show, maybe even reverts back to Swirly. Who really knows? I think Gohei Yuga's been a great villain so far, and hopefully that gets delayed as long as possible. I still think he is going to defeat Luke. I really do. But that's kind of a coin flip at this point. Who knows what's going to happen there. But I thought that was very interesting. Then I want to go to Yuo and Mimi. Mimi is reading Yuo some stories as if Yuo is Yoshio. Remember, Mimi actually has a son. We barely see them interact, but I guess this is the motherly instinct of Mimi that we're getting in this show, her interactions with Yuo. And when Mimi talks about the Seven's Road book, which I'm very happy they have not forgotten about, and I have a feeling that book is going to be incredibly important and relevant in these next few episodes, when Mimi talks about that book, it seems to spark a memory of Yuo. Now, I'm not sure if this is a general memory of Rush Duel and all that stuff, or if this is foreshadowing that Yuo has something to do with the missing pages from the Seven's Road book. And I don't know if anyone else got that vibe, but that was the immediate vibe that I got from that scene, that Yuo knows something about the missing pages from the Seven's Road book. Maybe he was the one that stole them for whatever reason. But I think Yuo, well, we know this version of Yuo knows way more than he realizes. I think Yuo knows a lot more here than we even realize as the audience. And remember, Yuo was evil. He was the main threat at the beginning stages of this season. Of course, replaced by Gohei Yuga down the stretch. But I think Yuo could definitely be responsible for stealing the pages of the Sevens Roadbook. And if that's what that scene was foreshadowing, that would be very interesting. It would probably mean that they have to get Yuo his memories back, which is probably going to happen after they go for Roman. I imagine Roman will probably be after Roa, but, you know, we'll see. But definitely something to keep an eye on then. Now we get to the main crux of the episode, which is Yuga versus Roa. Ushido tells Yuga that Roa has been acting strangely, and Yuga kind of realizes at the end that this has all been kind of an act from Roa. We get confirmation that the reason Luke remembers Yuga, even post-memory wipe, was not because of Phantom Luke, which is kind of what I would have liked if it went down that route, but rather that Luke and Yuga created a bond and a relationship and a strong friendship before Rush Jewels were installed, before Rush Jewels were created. Now, so do Yuga and Roa. Now, Yuga and Roa's friend, I mean, Yuga didn't really know who Roa was. Roa more so was envious of Yuga. But Roa, and that relationship was also mainly forged in jealousy, not really friendship like Luke and Yuga's. But Roa knows who Yuga is prior to Rush Jewels being installed. And so Yuga realizes at the end of this episode that Roa must remember who he is. And his memories must not be forgotten for that reason. Now, Roa doesn't confirm whether that's true or not, but we know that something's off with Roa. He acted kind of strange at times. A lot of times he seemed a little finicky with his responses, almost like he was trying to kind of pick out the perfect responses. And so I think Yuga's theory is probably accurate here. I think Yuga's theory is probably correct. And if Yuga's theory is correct, here's an interesting food for thought. You know who else knew who Yuga was and had a bit of a relationship with Yuga before Rush Jewels were officially installed? Otis. Otis is someone that I personally believe acted after Gohei Yuga defeated him and wiped his memories. Now, maybe he didn't, and actually that's the unpopular opinion. A lot of people think that was legit. But Otis must have known who Yuga was because he picked Yuga to carry on the Sevens Road Magician card, because he knew that Yuga would ultimately change the destiny of dueling forever, and that Yuga would be the one to install Rush Jewels years later. So Otis knows who Yuga is way before Rush Jewels are installed. He purposely and thoughtfully picked Yuga to be the creator of Rush Jewels. And I think that just adds more credence to my theory that Otis was mainly acting and did not lose his memories. Now, why did he abandon the servers on the moon? If that's the case, it's a good counterpoint to that. Because if he had his memories, wouldn't he still want to take care of the moon and the servers? But maybe this is all part of his master plan. I just am not convinced that Otis has actually lost his memories. And I really think that the reason that Luke and now Roa still have their memories just adds weight to the fact that Otis might still have his memories as well. So I thought the reasoning for why certain characters have their memories was very interesting. Yuga being the one to help out Roa, I guess it always had to be. I like the duel, how they kind of set up the same exact setup they did back in episodes 12 and 13. But I will say something that I am not the biggest fan of. I just think Geta and Ushido have been treated very poorly this entire show. Because I thought about it and I'm like, well, who helped Gakuto? Okay, Rons and Rinosuke. Who helped Nail? Sebastian, his team. Who helped Asana? Her team. Galleon, even Caterpillar and Schwer. And then you look at Roa. Oh, Ushido and Geta are going to help him. No. Actually, it's quite the contrary. Geta actually says, I think it's better if Roa doesn't remember things. He's helping out with the band more. He's more focused on music. And maybe for selfish reasons, it is for selfish reasons, I kind of don't want him to get his memories back. And Yuga and Luke and Gakuto, they don't even address it. 2 minutes later, they've made the decision, it doesn't matter what Geta wants, we're still going to get his memories back. And I was like, all right, well, you could have at least talked to him about it. And like, I don't know, I thought that was kind of strange. And then I'll never forget at the end of episode 10, I think it was episode 10, Ushido just wanted people to remember who he was. He just wanted people to remember his name. And Luke said, "I'll never forget your name." And he's back to just being a complete punching bag of a joke, because not only does Luke forget his name, but even Gakuto's like, "Oh, right, I forgot that person existed." I'm like, come on, man. It's just, I feel like they have been so disrespected. And would I have liked to see Geta and Ushido try to help Roa here and try to be the ones to maybe restore his memories? I thought that was the route it was going. It ends up being Yuga instead. You know, it is what it is. Geta and Ushido, of the main 7 side characters, have been treated the most poorly, in my opinion, and I don't really think there's much of an argument. You know, Ron's Renosuke, Galleon Schwer, Sebastian, they've all done stuff to forward the plot and help out their team, and Geta and Ushido are just, I feel like, always on the sidelines. So, you know, that's kind of been a little bit of a disappointment, but I'm very interested for next week. I'm very interested to see where we're going with the main plot. I think this was an episode that planted a lot of seeds, and I'm excited to see them sprout over the next 8 weeks. But guys, that concludes my thoughts on episode 84. Very happy to be doing these reviews again. If you love Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, talking Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s up every Wednesday night here streamed on the channel. Me and my friends, we will be diving much deeper into this episode and into every episode as this show comes to an end. Please leave your thoughts on episode 84 down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching the video. And a special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Horace Maye, Goosey Q, Panther J, Blue Maiden 28, and Jarrett Buller, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood, Latrell Smith, and Erick Avila, and to my Egyptian God tier patrons, Ccapacappuuu and Syn Cloud. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Thank you to everyone who is a YouTube channel member. You guys help me out and you help out this channel so much. I cannot begin to explain how thankful and appreciative I am for each and every one of you. Definitely check out my Patreon for more channel exclusive perks down below in the description. I will talk to you down below. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.